take. Got that purple Lamborghini lurking.
Red Dreaded Entertainment, what's up guys? My name is Akasan. So we are moving on to a back-to-back situation of Doctor Strange. I just got finished watching how Doctor Strange should have ended by how it should have ended. Hishi for short. Now we're about to move on to Screen Junkies honest trailers, Doctor Strange, and how see what their whole take on Doctor Strange is, and I will give you my discussion afterwards. Let's go. PlayStation.
After Ant-Man asks the question, you ever watch Iron Man, but small? Marvel's latest solo movie invites you to ask another. You ever watch Iron Man on weed?
What?
Doctor Strange. Experience the grand illusion that you haven't seen this movie before as you sit through the heroic origins of a cocky but capable, super rich, wisecracking, workaholic with a weird goatee, in love with a red-headed subordinate, learning to be less selfish, played by a famous Sherlock Holmes actor. It's like Iron Man, but actually that's it. It's pretty much just like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Magic has come to the Marvel Universe, and not that it's just science BS that Thor went on about.
Your ancestors called it magic, and you call it science.
We're talking acid trip 70s blacklight poster magic that bends space and time in new plot-breaking ways, and uses mind-blowing effects to distract you from the fact that the action is still 90% punching. Shouldn't that hurt his hands?
It did.
He cringed when he tried to do a southern accent.
Power didn't go out. I forgot to set the clock. I'm sorry, Mom.
You weren't sure if he was serious when he attempted a Boston one.
You know what, John? Good to see you doing so well.
Now, Benedict Cumberbatch will sound like an Englishman, pretending to be a German man, pretending to be an American, in a feature-length tribute to Hans Gruber's accent in Die Hard when he gets caught by Bruce Willis.
Please, God, no, you're one of them. You care so much, don't you?
Benny, Bubby, your natural voice is perfect. Use it.
I didn't think it was that bad,
the titular
though.
Strange on his journey from Act 1 protagonist to Act 3 protagonist are side characters and villains who are up to the usual Marvel standard. Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's just kind of there to explain things.
Temporal manipulations can create branches in time. This is a relic. The sanctums protect the world, and we sorcerers protect the sanctums.
Mads Mikkelsen, playing a bad guy with weird eyes for the third time in his career, whose entire plan revolves around successfully ripping some pages out of the book to summon a malevolent demon who he hopes won't enslave the human race.
Not a great plan.
Tilda Swinton, a being of immense power, bravely guarding the Marvel Cinematic Universe from Asian actors.
She's Celtic.
And this cloak with more personality than any of the human beings.
Yeah.
Stop.
Man, I want to see that cloak crossover with the rug in Aladdin so bad. Enjoy a visual masterpiece that has to be seen in 3D on a giant screen to be fully appreciated. Because when you watch it on a laptop, you realize just how much of it is medical mumbo-jumbo.
You need to get it prepped for suboccipital craniality. I'm fusing transected spinal cords. I'm stimulating neurogenesis in the central nervous
That's why I don't illegally download.
radial artery. The complete C7, C8 spinal cord injury.
With a heaping side order of magic mumbo-jumbo.
The dark dimension makes them more powerful in the mirror dimension.
Saw the rituals in the book of Cagliostro.
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
The wand of Atum, the vaulting boots of Valtor.
Pages of Caecilius
A ritual to contact the Mamu and draw power from the dark dimension.
Wingardium Leviosa, suck me sideways, this is unnecessary. Just shoot laser beams out of your wand and be done with it. So enjoy a film that, despite its faults, doesn't fall into the third act trap of battling a CGI army and a sky beam. Saves money by replaying the same scene 13 times in a row.
No! That's not true.
And sends a powerful message to the children. Modern medicine can't be trusted.
My spirit, and somehow
Your body healed.
yes.
And don't text and drive, because you might end up turning into a wizard. Starring Benedict Wong, Benedict White, Bordeaux, Morpheus, you mags, bro? Night Nurse, Circle Hands. Hands on hands on hands on hands on hands on hands. and Ricky Bobby Hands.
Ah.
I'm not sure what to do with my hand.
Right.
Stranger Things.
Okay, I give him that. That was good.
So, Cumberbatch did the motion capture for Dormammu himself?
Really?
Man, he really likes to goof around in leotards, huh?
None can stop me.
Hey, Screen Junkies, Hollywood's hottest otter isn't done with you yet. Click the box on the left to watch Benedict Cumberbatch answer our silly questions in our honest interview. Or click the box on the right to see where our Cumber crush began in the honest trailer for Sherlock. And please stop yelling at us about aluminum. We get it.
I've never watched that. Okay.
I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
I get it. We're in a time loop.
I've
Yeah,
come
okay.
to bargain.
That's
Dormammu,
actually.
I've come to bargain.
Oh God. Okay. Oh God. That was Dormammu. I've come to bargain. Dormammu. I've come to bargain. All right. Anyways. Nah, they for Doctor Strange. I think they were perfectly right on about it. It's weird. I don't know why. I think it's because Logan's about to come out. Well, for most people in the world, comes out June 1st in Japan. Anyways, Logan's about to come out, and we have Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad now, baby. And I was watching Screen Junkies just talk about the fact that that means that the DCEU has gotten an Academy Award before the MCU. They're like, look it up, we did. And I was just thinking about this because I'm really not trying to make a war here. It's not about a war, but I am making one point, is the fact that, okay, it's a hair and makeup award, but yet the DCEU, regardless of what kind of movies they're making or the quality of the movies, you can't fault them for at least taking some risk, and they're doing some crazy weird stuff and some weird choices, but you can give them some sort of credit for going outside the safe zone, so to speak. As much as I hate Zack Snyder's decisions with what he's done with the Batman and a bit of what he did with Superman, at least you can give him some credit for doing something different, like giving his own perspective on things. I think, and this is a conversation I was just having with somebody else about Hideaki Anno, who's the director of Godzilla, Shin Godzilla, and Evangelion. Same situation where he kind of just puts his own spin on it, right? So, at least sometimes those sort of things can be rewarded. Even Christopher Nolan had his own take on certain things with the Batman, and it was rewarded. Sometimes it doesn't work out, sometimes it really works out. But with the MCU, what we have noticed a lot is that there is a bit of a safe zone. They play things really safe, and they tend to play things like almost every character has the same sort of tripes, as Dante would say. Every plot kind of has tripes, but to be fair, a lot of these comics that were coming up, they all basically had the same type of origin story or some similar origin when they all were done. It's just that, yeah, you had the magic version of Iron Man, you had the small version of Iron Man, something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's something my old girlfriend back in the day she brought up to me because we were talking about Dragon Ball versus like American comics and such, and she was asking me how come every American superhero has to have like a tragic origin story? Like, how come their planet, parents, uncle, or somebody has to die in order for them to want to be a hero? And I was like, I don't know, actually. Like, everybody, there has to be something in there. Whereas, you know, maybe some of the Japanese ones do not have that, such a tragic background in early history because, you know... anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I felt like... in 2016, I told you guys what my top movies were, and number 5 was Zootopia, number 4 was Doctor Strange, if I remember correctly, number 3 was, I believe, Deadpool, number 2 was Suicide Squad, and number 1 was Civil War. But for the longest time, I had the hardest time trying to remember that Doctor Strange was number 4, because at that time, because it just came out, it was kind of hyped. I was enjoying it. I felt that there were some points that were kind of like, okay, we're going through the numbers. And I said this to you guys. If you go back and look at my original idea, my original situation with the trailers, with the first Doctor Strange trailers, I was like, okay, you know, I probably just want to watch this to see how it ties into the Infinity War. But it's kind of a Marvel movie by the numbers. I said it. Everybody got really... Everybody got really mad about it. But at the end of the day, even though I feel Doctor Strange did a lot of things that felt like it was kind of by the numbers, and I wouldn't say boring villains, just not really, you know, they're building for something bigger, I suppose. I don't know. Even though they did all that, I still enjoyed the Marvel way of introducing magic. Not a big fan of Harry Potter. I did like Fantastic Beasts though. But I did like what Doctor Strange did in terms of in how to include magic in this overall MCU. It made me interested in using magic. You know, not crazy about it, but still kind of interested to see how that's going to work, how Doctor Strange's inclusion in the MCU, how he's going to work with Scarlet Witch. I was reading something about how he's a bit concerned in dealing with Scarlet Witch because she's tapping into a more risky form of magic, an uncanny type of magic and such. And how there's different situations like that. So I like the movie, but at the same time, it was kind of like, okay, I felt like this was a warm-up and okay, let's get him into the Infinity War like that. And I don't think much of that has changed. And if I were to do, again, my top movies of 2016, I feel like Doctor Strange tends to it's going to start getting, it doesn't stick as strong anymore. Watching it the second time around, I was like, all right, it's cool. And I watched it. I did watch it a little tipsy in IMAX 3D, and it was much more interesting that way than the first time I saw it. But girlfriend saw it for the first time. She loved it. She liked it. So I think it does what it needs to do, but it's also playing it fairly safe. And I hope for the next Doctor Strange movie, I hope for the next, after Infinity War, so I just hope Marvel really does actually try to push things a little stronger. I think they can afford to be out of their comfortable zone and try to push a little bit stronger, make us really feel something like Civil War or the Captain America movies and such. Okay? Red Nation, stand up, speak up. I want to know, what do you guys think about all that, and how how on part do you think Screen Junkies was? I think it was fine. It wasn't anything like ouch right in the feels. Does anybody feel offended by what Screen Junkies wrote? You shouldn't be. Alright, take care of yourselves, guys. Hit that like button if you like the reaction. If you want more of this sort of stuff and discussion points, make sure you subscribe. And I will leave you with the last scene of something I was just thinking about today. Every time I think of Doctor Strange going into that warp zone, and I'm out.
Open your eyes. He looks alright to me.
No one else around.